This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Gundam Lorecast, where we take a deep dive into the Mobile Suit Gundam series, such as the multiple timelines, mobile suits, characters, and so much more. Welcome everyone to the Gundam Lorecast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend and co-host, Jesse. How are you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing pretty good. How's it going?
It's going. I'm still patiently waiting for the next 2 weeks to fly by.
Hey, I mean, we're what, 4 days away now, the base?
Oh yeah, for us, yeah, we only have like 4 days before we actually do actual Gundam stuff. That has nothing to do with Gundam Breaker 4. Well, no, Gundam Breaker 4 will be there. Actually, I saw a TikTok of someone at the first Gundam base weekend they did, and showed a bunch of cool stuff. There's like a lot, and there is exclusive kits that we normally can't get over here, which is exciting. And yeah, they display Gundam Breaker 4 because you can play test it, which is exciting.
Right.
As well as the Silver Phantom, which I'm super pumped for, and I may or may not debating on getting a Quest 3 just so I can get that game / movie. Right. And I was like, man, why? But I mean, I've been wanting a Quest for a while, but this is just kind of like pushing me more towards it.
I've always wanted it and never wanted to figure out space to use it. But right. Now I kind of want to figure out space to use it.
Right. Yeah. But you're all asking probably what are we talking about today? So today we are going into what is Gundam as a franchise, and y'all might think some things you probably never thought of would influence Gundam, for sure. So. Definitely. Getting to it, so Mobile Suit Gundam, also known as First Gundam or Gundam 0079 or simply Gundam 79. So we are going to be talking about like the original series a bit in this as well. It is an anime television series, obviously produced and animated by Nippon Sunrise, created and directed. Oh no, it's still recording, right? Okay, yeah, it's still recording. OBS is weird. Directed by Yoshiyuki Tomino, if I'm pronouncing that correct. Is premiered in April 7th, 1979, and lasted until January 26, 1980, spanning 43 episodes.
It is still wild to me how long ago that was.
Right? It is insane. It is insane that this has been 45 years. This is the 45th.
I hear it and I'm like, no.
It can't be.
That doesn't make sense, but
it is.
Here we are.
1979. Hence why the first Gundam series is 0079 for its, release year. And they call it the 1 year war because it ended in a year. So They were pretty spiffy with that, if I do say so myself. So it was the first Gundam series, which subsequently been adapted into numerous sequels and spin-offs. Set in futuristic calendar year Universal Century 0079, the plot focuses on the war between the Principality of Zeon and the Earth Federation, with the latter unveiling a new giant robot known as the RX-78-2 Gundam, piloted by the teenage civilian mechanic Amuro Ray. Yeah.
So, starting out with the child soldiers very early on in the series.
Yeah. And you'll see this a lot in a lot of the series. Well, I mean, he's not technically a child. He is like 16. He's 16 in the show. He does say he is 16. So, I mean, he's not a technical child. at like, the age of 12 or something like that.
Right.
But he's still pretty young for war. Normally, the service date is around 18 in most countries. So, in 1981, the series was re-edited for a theatrical release and split into 3 films. The characters were designed by, oh gosh, Yoshikazu Yashikio, and Kuno
I go with
Okawara.
Kunio Okawara. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Some Japanese names I'm good with, others are not. It's
fair.
was responsible for the mechanical designs, including the giant robot, the RX-78 Gundam. The first film was released in February 22, 1981. Tomino himself also wrote a trilogy of novels that retell the events of the series. 2 manga adaptations of the series have been also written by 2 manga artists. So, the films, I still need to watch the films. They're on Netflix, all 3 of the original films, but they say, it is just a retelling in a condensed form.
Right. So they do have like some of the extra manga stuff put into them, but nothing so significant that it really changes the story.
Right. So despite initial low ratings that caused the series cancellation, which is a very big surprise to know this, the popularity of Gundam saw a boost from the introduction of Bandai's Gunpla models in 1980 and from reruns and the theatrical release of the anime, leading to the creation of a prolific and lucrative media and toy franchise. The series is famous for revolutionizing the giant robot genre due to the handling of mobile suits as weapons of war, as well as the portrayal of their pilots as ordinary soldiers. This aspect contrasted with the previous style of portraying the hero pilots and their giant superhero robots, which we'll get here in a little bit, but started essentially a brand new genre. Because in Japan during this time, there was a lot of robot, animes, but it was always like the superhero style of robots.
Right.
It wasn't like anything based in realistic like world views.
It was the robots here to save the world, fight the giant monster kind of thing.
It's literally Voltron.
Yeah.
Think of Voltron, that's basically it. So the mobile suits of the show are inspired by powered armor from the novel Spaceship's Troopers from 1959. Mobile suits were conceptualized as human-like robots that would not only appeal to children. So they were thinking abroad as like, okay, so kids will like these, but the adults would like these too.
It's like, I think that's definitely why they did it the way they did. Is how can we make it so that the adults will watch this with their kids and then spend their money on buying the stuff for their kids?
Yes, exactly. So, Yoshiyuki Tamano's original plot for the anime was considerably much more grim, with Amuro dying halfway through the series and the crew of the White Base having to ally with Char, who's given a red Gundam, but finally having a battle with him after he takes control of the Principality of Zeon. The original concept found expression in a series of novels written by Tomio soon after the show's conclusion, and elements of the storyline weave themselves into Zeta Gundam and Char's counterattack. Which I'm currently watching Zeta Gundam, and I can see that, yeah. He definitely does like kind of a 180 in the from the original show, where he's like the main antagonist, partially through the story of the original series, and then you get to Zeta Gundam and it's like, oh, he's like good now? What?
Not to mention, isn't Zeta the one where you're not sure that it's him, even though you think it's him at first?
Yeah, first it's like, oh, this other guy, and then it's okay, and then you start like watching more, and it's like, I think this guy's Char. This has to be Char. Because he does go by a different name in Zeta Gundam. And yes, I will be spoiling a little things here and there. The series have been 45 years old, so it is what it is.
It's not like it's Witch from Mercury.
Yeah. That's a
So
whole
these
different
are
story.
things that
I won't spoil too much for Witcher Mercury because that's a very very new
it's still current
series.
at this
Yeah,
point.
it's
So
done. It's a fully fleshed out story. It's completely done. But yeah, it's the most current in the series
right.
if you don't count the build stuff. So in February 1980, Mobile Suit Gundam was aired in Italy for the first country to broadcast the show outside Japan. Mobile Suit Gundam was also later aired by the anime satellite television network Animax across Japan, with the series continuing to be aired on the network currently, and later its repetitive networks worldwide, including Hong Kong, Southeast Asia, South Asia, and other regions. Yeah.
Italy being the
Italy
first
was the
country
first
is
country to
weird
get
to
Gundam
me.
that's outside
That
of
is
Japan. Right.
that's interesting. That's probably why the guy in Build is Italian and has the Italian suit.
Oh my gosh, yes, Ricardo Fellini.
Yeah,
Yeah, he pilots the Gundam Wing Fenice,
yeah,
which by the way is a really cool Gundam, not going to lie.
it's really cool looking.
Um See, I love the build stuff because they get so creative with the
Yeah.
mobile suits cuz they take pre-existing mobile suits from the shows and literally like, hey, how can we make this more individually cool and change aspects that will throw
Right.
people off and give it unique abilities.
How can we give people ideas for the next Gundam Breaker game?
Right, pretty much. Pretty much. Um and Remington, yeah, the only mech stuff you know is Battletech and Mech Warrior. Hey, Battletech and Mech Warrior are good. Besides Gundam, I know a very small bit of Robotech. Because I
Yeah,
played a Robotech game back in the day.
I
Can't
feel like
remember
I did, but I don't remember it.
I don't remember what system. I think it was on the PS2. I think might have been GameCube. I think it might have been GameCube actually. Now that I think about it, GameCube had a lot of cool anime games back in the
Oh
day.
yeah.
So, hoping to capitalize on the success of Gundam Wing from the previous year, Bandai Entertainment released a heavily edited and English dubbed version of Mobile Suit Gundam, premiering on Cartoon Network's Toonami weekday afternoon after school action programming block across the United States on Monday, July 23rd, 2001. The series did not do well as Wing, but the ratings were high enough for the whole series to be aired and spawn an enormous toy line. Yeah, yeah, it did. Because I bought a lot of those toys.
I definitely had more of the wing ones than I did
Yeah,
of
so Wing came out in
original
2000 for
series.
everybody to
Yeah.
know. That was our first Mobile Suit Gundam series in the US was in 2000, believe it or not. It took them 20 whole years to put it in the US.
That's why Death Scythe is sitting on my desk.
Fair enough. Um, but due to the unfortunate events of 9/11, Cartoon Network, like many other American TV stations, began pulling and editing war-themed content and violent programming, resulting in the cancellation of the series. However, the series finale was shown as part of Toonami's New Year's Eve special on December 31st, 2001. On Saturday, June 8th, 2002, the series would later air on their late night Adult Swim block, starting over from the first episode, but it was again pulled before completing its run because of low ratings.
The original
See,
series did not do well
it didn't,
anywhere it
yeah,
went
it
for a
didn't. I
while.
don't know if it was because of the story or if it was the animation.
It's a good
Be-
debate, honestly.
because for us growing up in that time, animation was well far in advance than what the
Right.
original series was. And I
Exactly.
have a strong feeling that a lot of people didn't like watching it because how old it looked.
It and it definitely still looks old when you
Oh
go
yeah, it
back to
definitely
it.
still looks old,
Which,
but you just
but
get over it and
right, if you
get
can
compelling
get
with the story.
past, if you can get past it, and then that might be the other thing is at least when it ran for on the kids version of Toonami. I know it's Toonami, so it's late, but it
Right.
was still afternoon. I think there were a lot of politics in both in Wing and in the first series. So maybe that's why. But I would say going back to it, the story's worth watching.
Oh yeah. Definitely watch it when you're older because you'll get a lot more of an understanding of things going on compared to, us growing up and we just want to see giant mechs fight the crap out of
Yep,
each other and that's all we want to see. The political stuff we could care less about. Because I mean, me
exactly.
growing up, I didn't care for any of the politics stuff. I just want to see mechs fighting each other and blowing up.
Exactly.
Compared to, now I'm rewatching all the old stuff and or rewatch and watching it for the first time and like understanding everything that's going on because I got older. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it's definitely easier to get as an
right.
adult.
Oh yeah. So on May 30th, 2006, Bandai Entertainment re-released the English dub for the CV series in a 10-volume DVD box. There was no Japanese audio track included, apparently because Yoshiyuki Tomo felt that the original mono mix was too poor of a condition to use. However, in 2007, the original series was re-released on DVD in Japan, which sold over 100,000 copies within a month's time, from December 21st, 2007 to January 21st, 2008.
I mean, not bad
Yeah.
for a at that time
In the early
30-year-old show.
2000s, right? So that's the show's around, uh around like 30 some years. Around close to 30 years
Late
old.
20s, close to 30s.
Yeah. So then in 1979, before the end of the anime, Yoshiyuki Tomura himself created the first novelizations of the original Gundam anime series. The novels issued as a series of 3 books, allowing him to depict the story in a more sophisticated, adult, and detailed fashion. Although the adaptation came to several changes to the story. For an example, Amuro was already a member of the Federation military at the time of the initial Zeon attack on Site 7, and the main characters in the Federation serve on the White Base class ships Paragas and Paragas 2 rather than the Paragas class White Base. Additionally, the war continues well into the year UC 0080 in the novels, whereas it includes at the beginning of the year in the anime series. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the original, like, not many people I would imagine would say this is like true to the UC timeline.
I would say you have to look at the movies and the show to
Yeah,
get what's true to it. Like the
because I
novelizations,
then these novels, I mean, they also change things pretty heavily
and they
as
don't
story
match up
components.
with the things that come up in the later series that are still in
Correct,
that UC timeline.
correct. So in the novel, Amuro Ray is killed in the final attack against Xenotic stronghold of Aboku. Aboku. I hate this stronghold because it's the weirdest name.
Yeah,
Abaku. Abaku. When his RX 78 3 is pierced through the torso by a Rickdom's beam bazooka. This occurs as Char's final attempt to warn him about Girin's intention to destroy the fortress and take the Federation's offensive fleet along with it. Char and the crew of the Paragas 2, or the White Base, along with the handpicked men under Kurilla Zabi's command, make a deep penetrating attack against Side 3 and together killed Girin Zabi, after which Kurilla is killed by Char. Tomorrow later lamented that he was known that the anime's ending would be difficult and another series would be made. He would not have killed off Amuro in the novels.
because Amuro does come back in some of the other UC stuff.
Oh, he makes a full-on return in
Yeah,
Zeta, which is the sequel series.
I want to say he's in it, like even mentioned in like Up to Unicorn,
Oh
if I
yeah,
remember right.
he's like mentioned in Unicorn, and there's like a picture of him on Bright's desk in Unicorn.
Yeah,
That's really about it in Unicorn. He's mainly through Amuro appears in the original mobile suit, Zeta, Double Zeta, Char's counterattack, and then all the movies that dealt with the 1 year war, obviously
right.
with him in it. So, yeah, I mean, he's in majority of the UC stuff. The only thing he's not in the UC is Unicorn tip is essentially.
Right.
So, but with that being said, let's take a quick mid break, and we will be right back.
It's a Gundam!
God, I love those sound effects.
It makes me laugh every time.
I'm so glad I got those. So this is the middle of the show where we thank everybody listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to support the show, you can go to Apple and Spotify. If you go to Apple and leave a 5-star review with some words, we'll read it out loud the next time on the show, as well as a nice Spotify comment. We don't have any this week, obviously, because this is our second episode, so that happens. So if you want to be our first review, go to Apple, go to Spotify, leave an awesome comment, and we will shout that out next time. And let us know what you're enjoying, or let us know what you want to hear from us about the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Because, trust me, we love it. We're super into it, because we both collect Gunpla. We're both going to a Gundam base event. The same event, which is going to be awesome. And we're getting Gundam Breaker 4. So...
Can't wait for any of it.
And we're both of us are rewatching the older Gundam. So, if you want to know something, and if you want, we'll just gush over stuff. Let's be honest. But yeah, go do that. It's awesome. You can find us on a few different Discord servers, the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, which are those links for those Discords are in the episode description below. Other than that, you can find us live on Twitch, on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BennaTamara every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when we go live. So if you want to throw comments in the Twitch chat, I will shout them out if you have questions or anything like that. So, yeah. Very short, quick mid break for sure, because there's not really too much to go over. So,
Not this time.
But keep I will say Gundam Info did put out stuff with Gundam Breaker 4, and Gundam Breaker 4 had a huge success on the open network test. So, thank you everybody who played, because of that, we can get some bugs out of the way. And they showcased 4 Gunpla that people have creators Gunpla on the Twitter page. And what's really funny is one of them is the voice actor for Mr. Gunpla.
Fantastic.
It's like, fantastic. Yes, I love this. But go check that stuff out. But with that being said, let's get back into more Gundam. All right, we are back. And now, so following the success of Mobile Suit Gundam, the TV series, in 1981, Tomura reworked the footage into 3 separate compilation films. The first 2 films, Mobile Suit Gundam 1, also known as Mobile Suit Gundam the Movie, and Mobile Suit Gundam 2, Soldiers of Sorrow, were released in 1981. And the third film, Mobile Suit Gundam 3, Encounters in Space, was released in 1982. So those 3 films, or literally just, the re-release films of a condensed version of the original anime. So if you want to go watch the anime and not watch all 43 episodes, all 3 of those films are on Netflix. And they are dubbed.
Yeah, if you want the bite-sized version, there you go.
Yeah. And the thing with Gundam, there's no filler. Nothing is filler in Gundam, which I love that so much. Like, you would say, 50 episodes for a series, there must be filler. No, not in this series. Thank God for that. It's not a shonen. So there have been 3 manga series based on Mobile Suit Gundam. One was written by Yu Zaki between 1979 and 1980 and compiled into 2 volumes. Another Mobile Suit Gundam 0079 by Kazu, uh, Kazuhisa Kondo. It was published by Dengeki Comics from 1993 to 2005 in a total of 12 volumes. Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
93 to 2005? All right.
It's a long time.
The third manga is Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin by anime character designer Yoshikazu Yashihiko. It was published from June 2001 to 2011. 10 years. And it's by Kadokawa Shoten's Gundam Ace magazine and collected in a total of 23 volumes.
I guess we're looking at the years, but I guess it doesn't say how often they released them. It's not
No,
like they're saying
okay,
it released
so
weekly for that time.
for Gundam, for manga, manga volumes literally are released once every like 2 to 4 months.
Right.
It's
not like
it's
you're
not
Shonen where you're
like
getting
it's not like
chapters at a
Shonen Jump
time.
where it's chapters. It's like the full volume. Like I collect
Right.
manga. I have a Final Fantasy series of manga. Volume 10 of the Final Fantasy manga I collect is coming out here in, I think, next month in September.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 9 came out last year. I've been waiting almost a year for this volume to come out to continue the story. Yeah. Manga is completely different from other
It's
stuff.
such a
On
right.
it's not a weekly basis kind of a thing like Shonen
Right.
Jump, because that is just chapter based and you can do chapters weekly pretty
Right.
regularly. But Shonen is also typically never ending anime / manga series. If they do end,
Right.
it's just a very long running
It just takes
series.
forever
Yeah.
before they do it.
One Piece.
Yeah.
That's a huge shonen right there for everybody. So the series was first released in English by Viz Media, but was dropped before it was completed. It was then released by Vertical from March 2013 to December 2015. And what's really cool is Gundam The Origin was also adapted into anime format. And The Origin is essentially everything that leads up to the start of the original Mobile Suit Gundam series. So you find out how
It's
Char became Char, how Sayla is on Side 7, how Amuro's on Side 7. You get everything that leads up to the first episode.
definitely a good thing to kind of get that prequel and get like backstory, because when we drop in on the beginning of Gundam, it's they're attacking this place where the Gundam is.
Right off the bat. And the thing is too, if you go watch the origin and then go and watch the original, you might have a little hard time getting into the original because Origin was made in the 2010s. The
Mhm.
animation style is completely different. It's much updated to today's standards of animation. So, and then you go back and to watch something from the
Mhm.
79, it's like, oh, this is different.
Yep.
Which, fun fact, you actually don't see the RX-78 in the Origin, which I was kind of sad.
It's sad, but I'm not overly surprised.
Right. Because it was supposed to be under wraps, so... So Gundam was not popular when it was first aired, and in fact came close to being canceled. The series was originally set to run 52 episodes, but was cut down to 39 by the show's sponsors, which included Clover, the original toy makers of the series. However, the staff was able to negotiate a 1-month extension to end the series with 43 episodes. When Bandai bought the copyrights to build plastic models for the show's mecha, which was relatively new market compared to the old Chogokin series Clover was making, things changed completely. With the introduction of the line of Gundam models, the popularity of the show began to soar. The models sold very, very well, and the show began to do very well in reruns and as theatrical compilations was a huge success. Yeah. Like,
So,
massive.
if I remember right, the Chogokin things that were made originally, that company was making, Chogokin is metal toys. So it was harder to mass produce them.
You're right. Compared
And
to
then you lead
plastic, which was
into
super
plastic.
easy to mass
Right.
produce. And especially nowadays with a lot of Gundams are there's a lot of Gundam models and a lot of plastic they use are either recycled plastic
Mm-hmm.
or they're just, you know, created standard plastic, but they use means to where it's not like it doesn't use a whole lot of like oil from what I understand.
Right.
So, yeah, Japan's very eco-friendly.
It is a definite interesting
Um,
change versus what we're used to.
Right. So audiences were expecting another Super Robot TV show, instead found Gundam, the first work of anime in an entirely new genre, the real robot genre. The anime ranked number 2 on Wizards Anime Magazine on their top 50 anime released in North America, and is regarded as changing the concept of Japanese robot anime and the turning point of history in Japan. Yeah. It's that big of a deal.
Wild to think of how big of a deal it is for an anime to change those kind of things.
Right? It's insane. And, you know, growing up, I mean, I loved watching Gundam and knowing it created its own genre, and it was a really big turning point for Japan economically.
Right.
Because,
It's something that you just don't really think about. A show
no.
being able to do something like that,
Oh,
especially a
God,
show
no.
about robots that beat each other up. But
Right?
but here we are.
So, despite being released in 1979, the original Gundam series is still remembered and recognized within the anime fan community. The series revolutionized mecha anime, including or introducing the new real robot genre, and over the years became synonymous with the entire genre for many. As a result, for an example, parodies of mecha genre commonly feature homage to Mobile Suit Gundam thanks to its immediate recognizability. Yeah.
Here for
Yeah.
it. 100%.
And by like recognizability, it's typically the V fins
Mm-hmm.
on a mech. When you see a V fin on a mech, that is homage to Mobile Suit Gundam,
Yep.
without a doubt. Though, I mean, there was other mechas at the time too that had V fins too.
I feel like V-Fens are pretty common in some forms of Japanese anime, whether it be
Right.
like the
But
Gundam
out of
anime
like
or
being recognized, Gundam is the number
it's
one.
the Gundam.
So Gundam has spawned over 80 video games for arcade, computer, and console platforms, some with characters not found in other Gundam media. Some of the games in turn inspire spin-off novels and manga. Since the Breaker series. Yeah. That made complete new anime.
It did. I mean, there's even some of the manga that have spun off, like Crossbones, for example, where it's like there's plenty of extra things to make anime out of if they even if they wrote no more manga right now, they have source material.
Right. So, oh, that's new Gundam Breaker. I was looking for. Okay, yeah, Gundam Breaker 1 came out in 2013, so it was around the same time as let me see, Gundam Build Fighters was the first of the. Yeah, so it came out in the same year. So, yeah, it made sense. It was for the 30th anniversary, or was it 35th anniversary of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So primarily made of plastic, but sometimes paired with resin and metal detailed parts, hundreds of Gundam scale plastic models, aka Gunpla, have been released. They range in quality from toolless build children's toy kits or entry grades to hobbyist and museum grade models and are most in common scales such as 1/35th, 1/48th, 1/60th, 1/100th, or 1/144th scale. 1/144 is the most common scale that you're going to find. That's what we consider high grade for Gunpla and for model building. That is the most common you will see. Entry grade is typically around the 1/140 scale as well, but it's less detailed. It's also much easier to build. To where
Sometimes
when you
already
get
built.
to the bigger models, like I think, is it 1/100? Is that master grade?
100 is master, and then perfect is 160.
Okay. And then 1/48th and 1/35 is just massive because they only have one. I think it's a 1/48. Isn't that the Unleashed Gundam, which is like the
I think it
1/48?
is.
I have not seen a 1/35th unless
I've
it's the
never seen one.
statues,
I mean,
which I don't think that's
135th.
the case. 1/35th would not be a statue. That's a
I
one
don't
for
think
one
it is.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen a 1/35. 1/48 I have seen. The Unleashed Gundam, which is the biggest, which is over a foot tall for a model.
It's so
And that's
wild.
freaking huge.
I'm
And
here
very
for it.
expensive.
Oh, it's a jumbo grade. Is the
Jumbo grade?
135.
I have
You can
never
get
seen that. Do they like really?
just Googled it. It's on Amazon. You can get it's an RX 78-2 Gundam jumbo grade.
Jumbo grade?
That is huge, and I don't even see a price. They're
Oh dear God. I just want to know.
collectible, very good condition, $455.
I'm good.
If I
Yeah, because I
had money
want
to
to
blow like
say.
that,
Yeah, I don't know. That one I don't believe is. I don't think they currently sell something that big
I don't think they sell any new
in the
ones that
market
are
right
that big.
now. Mega size is the
2 pounds
1/48th,
and
which I
one and
believe
a
is what
quarter
they
inch.
called. I believe that's the Unleashed Gundam. I
Yeah,
can't
so the
remember.
135th is 2 pounds and about a foot and a third tall. That's a little much.
Right. I mean, I have Unleashed Gundam. That's what I'm trying to look. PG. It's a perfect grade. Unleashed 1/60th. Oh, it's a 1/60th. Oh, thought it was 1/48. All right, never mind. 1/60th is the Unleashed Gundam, and typically is like anything bigger than that is just too big, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's already big. It's a 12-foot
Yeah.
freaking Gundam. So various grades exist in the target hobbyists, ranging from smaller size kits such as high grade and rail grade to larger master grade and finally perfect grade model kits. The rail grade or RG Gundam series combine the master grade's detailed inner structure and additional color separation, making the 1/144 scale series complex in design and compact in size, with the final goal of retooling a Gundam to what might what it look like in real life, similar to the real life Gundam Front Tokyo RX 78-02. Yeah. Which I don't know if they have that one anymore.
No, I'm pretty sure they tore it down and put Unicorn in its place.
That's what I believe, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because that's the one. Yeah, that was the one they had in front of the Gundam base.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed it to Unicorn, which transforms, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is cool. Not kind of cool. It is cool.
It's cool.
So promotional 1/6 or 1/12 scale models are supplied to retailers and not commercially available. For Gundam's 30th anniversary, a full-size RX 78-2 Gundam model was constructed and displayed at Gundam Front Tokyo in
Odaiba.
Odaiba District. It was taken down on March 5th, 2017. A new statue of the Unicorn Gundam was erected in the same location, now renamed the Gundam Base Tokyo. So, as what we were just discussing, it was there until 2017, and then they took it down to replace it with the Unicorn. Yeah,
And it's
and if
still
you also want other giant Japanese Gundam statues, there's one in Is it Shanghai?
I don't know
I
if
want
it's
to say
Shanghai or Hong Kong.
it's one of the two. It's either Shanghai or Hong Kong. I think it's Shanghai. Um, and it's the Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed. Is literally, and it
Yeah, it's
actually like
Shanghai.
has its at certain times of the day, it has its wings fold up and
Hmm.
starts lighting up and everything. It's really freaking cool. So, Gundam is a Japanese cultural icon. It is a 50 billion yen annual business of Bandai Namco, reaching 54.5 billion yen annual revenue by 2006 and an 80.2 billion yen annual revenue by 2014. So, let's
It
put this
is.
into American dollars.
In American dollars, 50 billion yen is around $340 million.
What's 80 billion yen? Because the yen is the American dollar
Five,
is more than yen. So,
$544.5 million.
yeah, that's a lot for one franchise.
That is so much money.
And that was 2014. That was 10 years ago.
I guarantee that number is going up.
I guarantee you that number probably doubled. Uh, so stamps have been issued. An agricultural ministry employee was reprimanded
Reprimanded.
reprimanded for contributing to the Japanese Wikipedia Gundam related pages, and the the Japan Self Defense Forces has codenamed its developing advanced personal combat system Gundam. Based on a December 16th, 2023 survey conducted by Nikkei Entertainment, the fan base of Gundam with Japan was an average age of 42 years and a male to female ratio that skews 90 to 10. Which, I mean,
So
that
the
makes sense.
average age skews towards the beginning of the show,
Right.
and the male to female, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's just giant.
They have not done much to cater to a female audience. Every once in a while they do,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
not a whole lot.
Gundam has a lot of strong female characters,
It does.
but it also doesn't end well for a lot of those characters.
No, and they're very often not the main center focus of the
No. Oh
show.
God, yeah, no. None of them.
And really, until
I'm trying to remember. There hasn't, except for Witcher Mercury.
there's been a few
There,
Gundam
I would
pilots, but
say
never the main character.
Salute to Mercury was probably the first major main protagonist that was female for the Gundam series.
Yep, I would say so. There's some that have huge roles like Karen and Kiki and
Sayla.
Ave and Sayla, but like none of them have been the character that you're really
Right.
focused on.
Right. And the impact of Gundam in Japan has been compared to the impact of Star Wars in the United States. That is how big Gundam is in
Which
Japan.
is wild to me and kind of interesting when you think about how Star Wars influenced Gundam to begin with.
Right.
And then Gundam became so influential in its own right.
Right. Like, yeah, Gundam was like Star Wars had an influence on Gundam because the first Star Wars came out in 1970. Oh God, I should know this. I'm a Star Wars podcast guy. 77? 77 or 78, one of the two. Oh God. Fans, don't kill me. 77. Okay. Yeah, I was right. 77. I knew it was close to the release of Gundam, like a couple years close, but like I couldn't remember. Yeah, 1977. So yeah, it was 2 years before the release of Gundam. yeah, Star Wars had a definitely influential take into that series for sure. And I mean, we see it like clear as day.
Right.
I mean, look at the beam saber. Really?
Just
Really?
right away. It showed
It's
up so
literally
quick.
is literally a lightsaber for a mech. Come on.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, Gundam is huge. Um Huge in Japan. It is insane on um how it's been what it influenced.
You can go to just about any store and find something Gundam related.
Oh yeah.
Whether it be the ads on their food,
In Japan specifically,
or
not here in the US.
exactly. I
Not here in
wish
the
you could go
US,
anywhere
sorry.
here and
In
find
Japan.
anything. In Japan, you can find it on food. You can find it. You can find gunpla to buy. You can find clothes. Pretty much
Mhm.
whatever you could think of. I wish
Yep.
it was like that here.
Oh god, I wish so too. Oh my god.
I might be broke if it was, but
Oh yeah.
it'd be worth
And
it.
the so yeah, it Gundam came to the US in 1994, which is insane. It took them almost 15 years after the release, actually 15 years after the release of the original series to come to uh, the US. It went to freaking the Philippines in 83. What?
Wild when you think about it.
Now, all Italy was weird. Hong Kong makes sense in 1980. That Hong Kong makes sense. Taiwan, China, Thailand in 1981. Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, uh, I don't know what this one is. In 82, that makes sense too, because they're all next to each other. But then Philippines and then Indonesia got it in 87, and then 94 comes the U.S., Canada, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, the rest of Europe outside of Italy, and the rest of Latin America outside Brazil. Yeah, that's insane.
That is wild.
So, but yeah, that's what we have on the franchise of Gundam for this week. A lot of things that probably a lot of people didn't know, that the series was almost completely canceled
Right.
multiple times, and now is one of the highest, grossed franchises in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
as it should be. Let's be honest.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
absolutely should be.
they built the Unicorn originally an RX-78 in front of the Gundam factor or Gundam base. Now a Unicorn Gundam in front of Gundam base. They have
Mhm.
the Freedom Gundam in Singapore, and they did have a moving Gundam RX-78 in the was it Yokohama Bay?
I think so, yeah.
They took that down finally. I think it was the beginning of this year. They took it
Yeah,
down finally
it
because
was not
they
that
kept
long
delaying
ago.
it. That one literally moved, full scale sized and
We'll have
everything.
real Gundam someday.
Oh yeah, Japan would be the one to make real Gundams because that's what they
Oh,
want.
for sure.
They want it. They want it. Or hey guys, if you take the build series and make that technology a reality, that would be cool too. That'd be pretty close to where no one has to actually go to war
Yeah,
and still have awesome Gundam fights. I think that's what they make Breaker for.
I'm here for it.
That's what the Gundam Breaker series is for. But
The
yeah,
training.
it's training. It's training us to be Gundam pilots. So yeah, that's what we have for this week's episode. So thank you for listening to the Gundam Lorecast. And oh man, you know what? We didn't think of a sign off phrase to leave at the end of the episode. I just thought of that now.
I
Oh my
completely
gosh.
forgot about it.
Well, anyway, pilots signing off. Thank can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share how you got into the Gundam series, and you can even find us on Twitter at Gundam Lorecast, and even email us at gundamlorecast@outlook.com.